colour. We all just love it. And today we're lucky enough to be at the Australian Botanic Gardens Mount Annan in Sydney's west to see one of the most magnificent displays of our own colourful native wildflowers. Jen is a horticulturist working in the native wildflower display, and at this time of year, spring, it's her full-time gig. Jen, I reckon you would be one of the luckiest people in the world. I would kill to work in a garden like this.
I'm quite blessed to be able to have the opportunity to work here and to be able to produce these wonderful Western Australian wildflowers.
Yeah, essentially they are wildflowers that you would find in the bush. How do you go about growing them over here on the East Coast?
It can be challenging sometimes. They're raised garden beds, so there's good free drainage, and then I renovate the soil, bring in top mix, wash river sand and compost and soil, and they're all mixed together.
So basically after you've prepared the soil, you direct sow the seeds straight in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we mix that with the potty mix and then we direct sow straight onto the garden bed, like feeding the chooks. That's how we throw it.
Would you say they're one of the best to grow at home?
Oh yeah, they're really reliable, tough, hardy. It's a really good cut flower, very easy to grow.
Now, stunning as they are, these annual wildflowers wouldn't be suited to all climate zones. So what happens if you're craving native colour, want something suited to your area and something you could potentially grow in a pot? Well, meet some of my favourite, very versatile, perennial native wildflowers. In Western Australia, this blue leschnalia just grows wild on the side of the road. But unfortunately, in more humid climates, it can tend to struggle in the garden. But give it the sort of conditions it's got here, a really well-drained position, or grow it in a pot or hanging basket, and it'll give you the most magnificent displays of colour. This is commonly known as the golden everlasting, or Xerochrysum bracteatum. In the wild, this occurs in every state of Australia. So it's an incredibly adaptable plant, and it was actually one of the first Australian wildflowers specifically bred for horticulture back in the 19th century. So now we have a whole beautiful array of garden forms, from annuals to short-lived perennials. This is a really versatile group of native perennials, the Brachyscombe daisies. This is the most commonly grown form, multi-fider, great plant, flowers prolifically, but after a couple of years, because it grows from a single shoot, it starts to die out on the extremities. If you want a little bit more bang for your buck, this is a form of a species called Brachyscombe formosa. And the beauty of this one is that it suckers. So as it grows, you'll get little plants coming up a little way away from the mother plant. They can either be used to form new little colonies and a little drift, or you can dig them up and transplant them to other parts of your garden. A really great value wildflower. So whether you fancy having a go at growing some of the extraordinary Western Australian wildflowers, or perhaps some of the easier to grow native perennials, there's an Australian wildflower somewhere just waiting to paint splashes of colour across your garden.